Hello, I am Morgan Hunt, and welcome to my presentation for the Garden Productive Knowledge Project, Phase 4. Now, you might be wondering, what plants am I doing? Well, I am going to plant 5 plants, and I'm going to plant 2 vegetables, 2 herbs, and 1 fruit. My 2 vegetables I'm going to plant are my beans and my lettuce. Yes, I really like beans and lettuce, but mostly I'm going to make them into a salad that I could probably share with the whole place tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Anyway, then I am going to plant raspberries as my 1 fruit. And of course, I'm going to be planting 2 herbs. Those are dill and basil. Those are to season my delicious salad. Yummy. And by the way, the raspberries are to make a delicious dressing. Wonderful, right? Continuing, I will have to mention the needs of each plant of mine. The needs of my beans it has to have full sun exposure, loamy soil, and it is a vegetable. I already told you that though. Now, the needs of my lettuce is partial sun exposure, loamy dirt soil, and it's, of course, what I already told you. Guess what? Yeah, it's a vegetable. So, next, I'll have to tell you the needs of my raspberries. The needs of my raspberries are full sun exposure, any soil type, and obviously, it's a fruit. Yeah. The needs of all my herbs are for the dill. It needs full sun exposure, loamy soil, and yes, it's a herb. I know. I already told you. Okay. The needs for my basil is that it needs full sun exposure, loamy soil, and again, it's a herb. And I know you already knew that. I just want to mention it again. So, now I'll have to go on to the planting dates of each of my plants. While I'm doing that, I want to show you my garden, really. Not one of my garden. Now, as you can see, the top layer is the lettuce. That's where I will plant my lettuce, on the north side of my garden. My raspberries will be in the middle, going west, to the west side of my garden. My beans will be to the middle east side of my garden. My basil will be to the southwest side of my garden. And finally, my dill will be to the southeast side of my garden. Got it? Yes, you do. So, while I'm setting up my timeline, which is already set up and ready to go, of course, the first thing on my timeline is my lettuce. Now, lettuce takes a long time to grow. Like, I have to start it in February. To be exact, I have to start my lettuce on February 21st. Yes, February 21st. Whew. Wow, that's an early date, right? Anyway. Now, next vegetable I will tell you about is my beans. I have to plant my beans on April 15th. Now, that's still pretty early. It might be early spring, but seriously, it's almost winter. So, And yes, beans take a long time to grow too, but not as long as lettuce does. Trust me, that's the longest thing on my list. Next is my raspberries. Now, my raspberries are also planted in April, but not as ridiculous as it is for the regular. My raspberries are planted on April 30th. Yes, 30th, not 15th. So, my basil is going to be planted on the 15th of May. Yes, that's much better than everything else. But every plant's different and takes different times to grow. That's with all my plants here. They don't all grow at the same time, and you don't pick them all at the same time. You wait for each plant to be done. That's why you make a timeline of when your plants are going to be done, so you know when you have to go out and give them. Okay, now when I'm going to harvest my basil. Sorry, malfunctions. I am going to harvest my basil about like 2 months, which is going to be probably July 15th. And then every time when 5 or 6 leaves grow, I'll pick them again. That means I'm going to be going out every single day to get them. The time when I will plant my dill is the 23rd of June. Yes, early summer. Ooh, dill doesn't take a long time to grow because I have to pick it like every 4 weeks. Because when I start picking it is July 1st. And then I'm going to pick it again on July 29th. So, these dates are completely calculated. So, I'm not going to be missing a beat on this. I will harvest my beans on the 23rd of July, which is my birthday. Yes! That means I'm totally going to remember. Don't worry, I'm not going to get distracted. I'm going to harvest my lettuce on the 20th of August. That's how long lettuce takes to grow. Doesn't that, surprise you? Yeah, I thought it would grow in, a few months, but no. It's, to be exact, it takes, 7 months to grow. 7! Not 4, not 3, 7. That's a long time. Now, my raspberries I have to harvest my raspberries on the 10th of October. To remind you again, when I had to plant my raspberries was on the 30th of April. Now, that's not as bad as the lettuce, but it's still pretty long. Seriously. So, now I'm finished telling you the dates of when I'm going to plant and harvest all my vegetables. Now, I will have to tell you when and what things I will use them for. Everything I really need. I'm almost done with this presentation. Yeah. I think you were getting kind of bored. Anyway, so now I'm going into where I studied for phase 3. This is how tall each of my plants will grow. First of all, the size of my garden will be 7 feet by 2 feet. And I'll need plenty of space to plant all my goodies. The lettuce seems to be a short plant, so I'll plant it on the northern side of my garden. Beans grow 16 to 18 inches tall, so I'll probably plant this in the middle of my garden. Raspberries grow 30 to 60 inches, so I will plant this in the middle part of my garden. Dill grows 3 to 5 feet tall, so I will plant it at the south part of my garden. Basil grows 1 to 3 feet tall. I will also put this at the south part of my garden. As you see, basil and dill are really tall plants. Don't you expect them to be like, small, like that size? Like from the table, like that size? Not like this. You can see, like this. They're even taller than this. My hands, like this, that's only 2 feet. They grow 3 feet and 5 feet. Like, seriously. So, that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching my presentation on the Garden Productive Knowledge Project.